Well, we're very pleased and privileged to have with us today one of the enduring heroes and role models of all of us who here in Arizona love our sports, particularly our Arizona Cardinals. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you Larry Fitzgerald.
Thank you, Senator McCain. It's truly an honor to be here this morning. I'd also like to extend a special appreciation to Michael Bidwell, the man who gave me an opportunity to live my dream. Not only is Mr. Bidwell the president of the Arizona Cardinals, he has also committed many years of his life to fighting violent crimes here in Arizona as a federal prosecutor. He is truly a man of focus. He's truly a man of faith, focus, and finish. In 1996, on a cold winter day in Minneapolis, Minnesota, I remember the door opening. It was my father coming in. There was something a little bit different about my father's demeanor that day. He was a bit dejected, his head down, shoulders slumped over. He asked us to sit down, as we always did, for dinner. He let us know that he had just lost his job. I had no understanding what that meant at that age, but I knew it was a difficult time for us as a family. I knew faith was something that was huge in our household, something that we talked about quite often. But I saw it on full display with my mom's next comment to my father and to our family, as she reassured us that we were going to be just fine and persevere through this trial. That night, I prayed to God that my dad would be able to find another job to provide for us. And as I woke up that next morning, I was looking for him in the room, and I couldn't find him. And I asked my mom, I said, "Mom, where's Dad?" He said, "Larry, he's already out looking for a job." My dad was focused on doing what was necessary to provide for his family. My dad was he's a man of principle. He always talks about principles that are important to him, and finish is something that's extremely important to him. As a child, I was on a very bad basketball team in 8th grade. I mean, we probably won 1 or 2 games that season. I desperately wanted to quit that team, but my father would never allow for it. He would always tell me, if you start something, you have to finish it. My parents built in our family 3 pillars, and they have become the foundation of how I try to live my life. I know there are other great philosophies and successful ways of living, but for me, these 3 pillars, faith, focus, and finish, have provided me with the stability and inspiration to live a fulfilled life, as well as set and achieve the goals that are near and dear to me. My mother displayed faith over dinner that evening. My father, the next morning, getting up early, looking for his next job opportunity. Finish, my dad never allowing me to throw in the towel, no matter how difficult the scenario might have been. Faith for me is knowing that I'm purpose-driven, believing that my life has meaning and that I have everything I need to achieve success. Finish, focus, refusing to give up in the face of adversity and understanding my goals and knowing what's required to reach them. Maintaining focus until the task is complete. Focus, setting goals with the understanding that there will be obstacles in the road, but through hard work and discipline, I will be able to persevere. I'd like to talk a little bit about the important role faith plays in my life. I'd also like to express appreciation to former Prime Minister Tony Blair for his foundation work, promoting interfaith dialogue, something that's very meaningful to me personally. Thank you. The Bible defines faith as confidence that what we hope for will actually happen. It gives us the assurance about things we cannot see. My family often went to a creek back home in Minneapolis. It was a creek that we were very familiar with. We spent a lot of time, family barbecues, a lot of charitable events. But on that particular day, we were there to pray for an opportunity. We had just recently come out of bankruptcy. We had lost our home. And it was a turbulent time in our lives. So as we prayed that day and we finished, we lit a candle. And we always prayed and lit candles. But on this particular day, we allowed that candle to float down the creek. We were allowing our stresses and our problems to float away. As we released that candle into the creek, I could tell that my mother and father fully believed we were going to be okay. As a young man, I saw this great faith, and it became cemented in my heart and also in my mind. I knew I had a reason to be here. I knew I had what it took to be successful. I knew that if my mother and father could stand so strong in the face of such challenges and concerns, that I could take whatever life handed me. In 1997, my mother informed our family that she was diagnosed with breast cancer. It was a very tough time to hear that, somebody you care about so dearly, dealing with such a stressful time. But there was no tears shed that evening. My mom was a very strong woman. She believed that she would be able to make it, and so did we. It's one thing when you hear your friend down the street and their mom has been diagnosed with cancer, or a lady you know casually at church who has been recently diagnosed. But when it's your mother, when it's your family, when you're the one laying in that bed as your mom tells you she has breast cancer, it's a much different experience. That moment challenged our faith, but it was also the moment where our faith became the most real. It tested our faith. It purified our faith. It was at that very moment that my faith became alive in me because I needed it so much. As it turned out, that experience solidified the role in faith in my life. It's also through faith that I learned to believe that I could be successful if I applied focus to the goals I set for me. In 2001, I was in the midst of finishing my football season, and I realized I was facing a dilemma. I wasn't going to qualify academically to play Division I football, something I had dreamt of my entire life. I had two options. I either go to junior college for 2 years and get my associate's degree, or I go to military school at Valley Forge. My family talked about it. We decided that military school would be what I needed because I needed discipline. I needed direction. I was a habitual procrastinator, as most high school students are, but I took it a little bit too far. I know I needed that discipline and that structure. I'll never forget that first night at Valley Forge Military Academy as I lay in that bed, crying like a baby, 1,000 miles from home. Listening to taps being played, my father gave me a folder. It was a simple folder. It had an NFL logo on it, and it meant a lot to me. And so I put that folder above the box springs in the bunk above me, and every night when I closed my eyes, that was the last thing I saw. And every morning I woke up, that was the first thing I saw. So I was always purpose-driven. I understood what my next goal was. Losing focus during my high school years, I was very undisciplined, and it nearly cost me the opportunity to live my dreams. What if I had never gone to military school? What if I had never learned focus and discipline? Sadly, there are countless people in the world who are supremely talented, who have great gifts and tremendous opportunities, but because they lack focus and discipline, they never realized their dreams. That was almost me. I'm intimately aware of the price of unfocused life, so I am absolutely committed to the pursuit of a life marked by focus and discipline. Those lessons taught me that temporary focus is simply not enough. Focus must be a way of life, and it must be maintained if you ever hope to finish. I want to be known as a finisher. As I graduated from Valley Forge Military Academy, I accepted a scholarship to attend the University of Pittsburgh. It was a great time. I was finally going to be able to go to college and play Division I football. My family's very excited. And as I got there, I saw the guys, they were eager. They were regular college students, having a great time, partying and living it up. And all I can remember is I almost lost this opportunity. I can't do anything to squander it. I focused. I made the honor roll, the 3.6 GPA my first semester there. I was an All-American my freshman and sophomore year. And I was on the cusp of reaching another goal that I had set for myself, and I was living and playing in the NFL. I have a unique experience because my father actually played in the NFL, and my great-grandfather actually played in the NFL as well. And my younger brother played for a little bit as well. So it was something that was very important to me, and I wanted to make sure I did everything in my power to be able to reach that dream and hear my name called. And when I finally did hear my name called by Commissioner Tagliabue, it's one of those moments that I'll never forget. All the hard work and discipline for military school, all the nights hearing taps and looking up at that NFL photo in the box springs above me, it all paid off. But it was only the beginning of a new opportunity with new goals and a renewed need to focus and finish. Our stories are not yet complete. The last chapter is still not written. We have more to finish. In 2003, tragically, I lost my mother to breast cancer. But I made her a promise that I would finish my college degree. Standing here today, I'm 19 credits short of finishing my degree. I know it's been a long time, 12 years, but I'm gonna finish. And when I do finish, I'm gonna make sure I let my mother know that it was for her, it was for me, it was for us. Until the day we are no longer on this earth, we are not yet finished. There is more to be done, more to live for. There is still a race yet to be run. In my work, in my life, and even in things I do for fun, I am not yet finished. I desperately want to win a Super Bowl. I would even like to be a scratch golfer. I have a new sense of focus as a father. I want to teach my sons the lessons my father taught me, to have faith, to focus, and to finish. I want to see them graduate from college and live successful lives. I have committed to being an example to my sons of what it means to be a man. I don't want them to have to learn from someone else what it looks like to be a man in this world. Even today, in our midst, we see great leaders who achieve great things through faith, focus, and finish. Demi Moore and Cindy McCain, who in just a few minutes will inspire us all to have faith by putting a stop to human trafficking once and for all. Elon Musk, who has had the focus to see fully electric cars, very fast ones, I must add, revolutionize transportation and see private funding advance space flight technology. And our generous host, Senator John McCain, who by enduring the POW camps of the Vietnam War has shown us what true finish looks like. I believe each of us has a purpose in this life. Our lives are not the result of chance. They are not a mistake. I encourage all of us to choose to have faith in our abilities, to commit to hard work, discipline, and focus, to live each day with our goals in mind, and no matter what obstacles we face, to be a finisher. Faith, focus, finish. Thank you.